Last month we held a giveaway for the Travis Scott Jumpman Jacks, and the lucky winner just picked them up. If you missed it, wipe them tears because we got a brand new one. This time it's gonna be a little bit different. We're giving you the choice between two fire options. You can either choose the J Balvin Rio 3s or the Bread Force and Industrial Blue 4s, all in your size if you win. To enter, it's super simple. All you gotta do is subscribe to the channel and drop a comment on which option you would pick. This giveaway is gonna run through the entire month of June. Good luck, everyone.
Yeah, come here. The J's, custom for golf, the custom books. Anybody that knows me, you never go wrong giving me a gift like this.
Sorry again, it's kind of short notice, but we're all super excited to see what you come up with.
That's no problem at all, man. This is gonna be great. Thanks for the opportunity. Yo, I gotta pull over for this. I just got a sick call right now from the Footprint Center. Justin Timberlake is coming to Phoenix and they wanna make 2 customs for them. I have 0 ideas. I don't know what I'm gonna do for the base shoes, but I gotta go to the store and buy some stuff. Let's go. What's up, my dude? How's everything?
Good, man. How are you?
Good, man. Good to see you. I need a pair of shoes, though.
Okay.
And it's urgent. So I'm making a pair of customs for Justin Timberlake.
Okay.
Looking to do it on a pair of Bucks, some tans, if you guys have a pair.
Dope.
Size 11,
Okay.
clear soles. Do you guys have them?
I do. Yeah.
All right, cool.
I actually do. You're gonna make a sick custom.
I just got back from Common Hype. I got the Bucks, got the Jordan 3s from Detroit Sneakercon. We're ready to go. I don't know exactly what I'm doing. I have a slight idea, but I'm kind of figuring it out as I go. What I do know is I'm gonna be making some custom tongues, but for that process, I'm gonna need some help from my good friend Jordan Diab. He's gonna make some new tongues with some embroidery details. I gotta get these tongues to the post office before they close. So let's get this custom started. To make things as productive as possible, I'm gonna do 2 of the shoes on camera. The other 2, I'm gonna do it on my own time. Tongues are prepped, ready to go. Unfortunately, I missed the post office. I thought they closed at a certain time. I completely missed it. But tomorrow morning, I'm gonna go, drop them off, and overnight them. It shouldn't be an issue. Let's keep it moving. When it comes to these customs that I'm creating, it's all about the details. Both of these shoes have white stitching on the toe caps. I'm gonna remove it so I can replace it with some orange thread, and I'm gonna do that using a sewing awl. All right, let's do some prep work. I am gonna be painting both of these shoes. For the Bucks, I'm gonna be prepping the leather on the swooshes. And for the Jordan 3s, I'm gonna prep this collar area on top. In order for the paint to stick, I gotta do this step using acetone and cotton balls. The prep work continues. I am gonna be painting the entire midsole. I gotta wipe off the factory finish first. While I'm at it, I'm also gonna be using the sandpaper to remove the imperfections from the midsole. Most of the time, these midsoles come with little specks here and there, making the midsole pretty rough. With the sandpaper, I'm gonna go back and forth and make it all nice and smooth. The sandpaper that I'm gonna use is 800 grit. Let's take a break from the shoes and work on the insoles. Justin Timberlake is big into golf. The Jordan 3s are gonna be golf cleats. For the insole, it's gonna be a nice little detail. I want it to look like the Masters green jacket. I got the material right here. I'm gonna wrap the original insole in it. First, I'm gonna iron on an adhesive backing. Once it's on this, I'm gonna put it onto the insole and get it on there permanently. Green material is nicely wrapped around the insole. Now to make this permanent, I'm gonna use a post-bed machine. I'm gonna sew all around the edges so the material doesn't come undone. Stitching is complete, insole looks really good, but we're not done yet. On the bottom, I am gonna heat press the logo. Everybody knows the Masters logo. It's a classic design, but for this project, my good friend Julian remixed the design. Let's keep it moving. I'm gonna cut out vinyl 3 different times in 3 different colors. The main thing we switched up on the Masters logo is the country. Instead of doing that, we put the Arizona State outline. Vinyl's cut out, ready to go. I'm gonna start off with the yellow ring, lay it down. I'll move on to the green outline of the Arizona State with the flagpole. Then I'll follow it up with the inside of the state. This is yellow as well. Then I'll finish it off with the red flag. Jordan 3 insole is complete. That one came out perfect. Let's work on the book insole now. I like the orange. I'm gonna keep that as is. The only thing I'm gonna replace is this bottom logo. First, using some acetone and cotton balls, I'm gonna scrub this off. Barcode is off, however, it left a ton of residue. I did everything I could, acetone and heat to remove it, nothing did the trick. Luckily, I do have some orange material. I'm gonna do the exact same thing I did with the Jordan 3s and rub the entire insole and sew it. That's gonna take some work, I'll do that off camera. In the meantime, I am turning these Jordan 3s into golf cleats. So I got some spikes from Golf Kicks, really easy to apply to Jordan 3s. I bought them in clear with the intent of dyeing them orange. So I'm gonna be using Soul Dye from Remix It Kicks. I'll be using Orange Slice. This does the best, it works on a ton of different projects, and we're gonna dye these cleats with it. While I let the Soul Dye absorb into the spikes, let's move on to the books. Like I mentioned, the details really matter on both of these shoes. 96 is the year that Devin Bookers was born. Doesn't make sense for Justin Timberlake. He was born in 1981, so I'm gonna replace that. But it starts with removing the embossed 96 from the leather. I'm gonna use a couple different tools. I'm gonna stuff this part, use some parchment paper and a wet rag with an iron to hopefully smooth it out with the rest of the leather. It's looking good. It's still kind of embossed, but I'm gonna try it again in a bit. Right now it's nice and cooled down. I'm gonna use some acetone and cotton balls to wipe off the white paint from the 96. After about 30 minutes of using the iron back and forth, this is the best I could do. The 96 is still kind of there, but if I would do any more, it's gonna ruin the leather. Once I apply the new 81 and do some painting, you're not gonna see it. Next step is to cover everything up so I can lay down some brown using the airbrush. Brown is laid down, we got the tape off. Now for this next step is more painting. I'm gonna cover up everything but the swooshes on the books. And for the Jordan 3s, I'm gonna cover up everything but the midsoles. I got a lot of taping to do. I'm not gonna bore you guys through this step. All taped up, let's focus first on the Jordan 3. I'm gonna airbrush a metallic white as the base coat. Once these Jordan 3s are wrapped up, they're still gonna have a lot of white. But a creative way to make certain panels stand out more is by adding metallic white. In certain angles, it almost looks silver, but in other angles, it looks regular white. Metallic white paint is all laid down, it's fully dried. I'm gonna cover it up to get it ready for the gradient. There's so many ways you can go about a gradient. It's one of my favorite things to paint. You can do anything from a two-tone gradient to using 10 different colors. The key to creating a perfect gradient is to airbrush in the direction you want the gradient to go. I spent a lot of time to make sure I used the right tones that made sense together. For this one, I drew inspiration from two different things, the Arizona sunset and Justin's new album cover. I'm really taking my time on this part because this is the main element that's really gonna make both of these customs pop and tie them together. All right, so I'm done with the gradient. Everything looks smooth. I went from yellow, orange, brownish to the blue. Everything looks good. I'm gonna take off the tape so I can lay down some finishers. Midsole is complete. Next step, for the panel above the midsole that's white, I'm gonna lay down a high gloss finish using a paintbrush. Running out of time, so I gotta keep it moving. Overall, I want both of these shoes to look like a pack, like they came together. That's why I laid down the exact same gradient. On the collar area, I'm gonna lay down this cream paint that's gonna match the books nicely. The one thing I do wanna watch out for, I don't wanna get any paint on the sock liner because I am freehanding it, and I gotta take my time to get behind the back tab. Paint job looks solid, now onto the fun part. I gotta apply the spikes onto the bottom of the sole. This part is really easy. First, I'm gonna lay them all out to know exactly where to screw them in. I'm gonna use 9 of them. One of them's gonna go here, 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 and here. Once they're all laid out, I'm gonna use a Sharpie to mark it on the sole. Then I'll apply some glue onto each spike and then screw it in. Between the glue and screwing it into the rubber, it should hold up nicely. Spikes are on the Jordan 3s. Everything's looking great so far. Just by looking at the shoes from this angle, it's starting to look like a package. You got the cream on both the top and the sunset on both sneakers. The colors, everything matched nicely. Now I'm almost done with this custom, but there's a couple details left. This part is a huge element for both sneakers, so this part is important. My homie Jordan Diab once again came through with some custom made tongues. We'll start with the Jordan 3 tongue. On the back, Jordan added a brand new brown liner, and he also embroidered my brand new logo designed by the legendary Mark Smith. On the front, we used the original leather piece with the holes. The top piece is custom. We added Justin's signature. For the book tongues, same concept. On the back, we added a brown liner. Same thing, Vick Almighty logo. And on the front, we embroidered Forget Tomorrow. Next step is to attach them onto the shoes. I'm gonna glue them on first, then with the patcher, we'll sew them on. Custom embroidered tongues was definitely the way to go for this one. Knowing that JT has worked with Jordan Brand to make his Jordan 3s in the past, I wanted these to look like Jordan had actually made these for him as well. The Chapter 1 tongues were perfect to directly embroider to the original material, and it's something I haven't seen done before. Now to make it look like the tongues were never removed from the shoes, I'm gonna sew into each original hole to make it seem like nothing ever happened. Tongues are in place. Now for the books, there's a couple details that are left. For the insole, I'm gonna put EITIW. That stands for Everything I Thought I Was for his new album. On the shoe, on the back heel area, I'm gonna put Justin's signature, same exact one that I put on the Jordan 3s. And lastly, the 81 that's gonna replace the 96. I'm gonna do this in gold and chrome vinyl. This custom has been a lot of work so far, but overall, I kept the concept pretty simple. These last few details is what will make it personal to Justin, while still keeping the characteristics that Nike and Booker created for this shoe. Like I mentioned before, 81 is the year Justin was born. Since I drew so much inspiration from the colors of his album cover, it only made sense to also add the name of his album in the insole in a beautiful chrome vinyl. The signature was a no-brainer. It connects him with the custom 3s and the previous Jordan 3s that Nike has made for him. For the placement, I got the idea from the PE Moss points that Book wore. These look amazing together. Let's lace them up. All right, guys, that's gonna bring us to an end on these custom Jordan 3 and Chapter 1 books for Justin Timberlake. A couple things I want to point out is the concept behind these two customs. For one, I wanted these to represent Arizona. That's why I added the cream and brown tones for the desert vibes. And of course, on the swooshes and the midsoles, I added that gradient. Nothing screams Arizona more than the colors from the Arizona sunset. The second part of the inspiration was from his World Tour and his album cover. The World Tour promo has a lot of orange and brown. The album cover has a sunset as well, orange, brown, and bluish tones. All colors that went perfectly on these sneakers. And third, it's worth mentioning why I picked these beige shoes. Justin Timberlake has done a few collaborations with Jordan Brand using the Jordan 3. That was a no-brainer. And in my opinion, the Chapter 1 books represent Arizona because of Devin Booker, and it's a great shoe to customize. This project was a lot of fun. I do want to give a big shout out to a couple of people. My good friend Julian for helping out with the graphics of these sneakers, Jordan Diab for coming through on the tongues, Rejuvenator for making this video happen, and of course Footprint Center for giving me the call. Now I gotta get these to the arena ASAP. Justin Timberlake is performing today. Drop a comment down below on what your favorite detail about these shoes. This is Vick Almighty. I'll catch you guys on Saturday. See you guys.
Forget Tomorrow, 81, which is the year I was born. Don't start counting. Got the signature on the back here. What are we doing? And then on the inside, everything I thought it was. The J's, custom for golf. I'm gonna have to wear these on the golf course ASAP. These are special though. The custom books. I like the hardwood and the turf. Wow, details. Anybody that knows me, you'll never go wrong giving me a gift like this. This is incredible.